We're gonna fill this entire world full of idiots, then make it smaller every 50 years. Basically, it's gonna be a battle royale, and the last one surviving wins. This world did auto-generate, so it should have everything that people need on it. But they are gonna have limited time, and this thing is continually going to get smaller and smaller. So to start, I wanna make sure that there's some food around, along with some trees and resources. That way they don't really have to go too far to find what they need, unless they have a bad spawn. And the world is also going to be full of cows. There's going to be a lot of cows, and there's a new button you can press to mass spawn things. Do you hear that? That's the sound of food. So now it's just a matter of spawning in our creatures. Since the world conveniently has these little tentacles out at the edge, I'm going to start them all out here. The smart ones will make their way inland. The dumb ones will stand out here and drown. To keep this somewhat fair, I'm only going to be using humans. So to begin, I've dropped groups of 100 people basically on each little tentacle. They might start their own communities, they might go solo, they might fight each other, they might not. Either way, they're competing to win whether they know it or not. So to begin, there's 1300 people in this world. Let's get started. Year 1. Right away, they start to set up their empires exactly where they were dropped. That's not very smart. Whoever takes the center of the map is gonna hold the advantage. Naturally, some of them are starting to migrate right away because they're too good for the Caw Kingdom. Tons of different kingdoms, but that's good because there's going to be tons of different fighting. Eventually they'll take each other over, they'll fight. So far it's only been half a year and they've already explored a third of the world. And like any good battle royale, it's luck of the draw where they get to start and where the plane drops them off. Sometimes they're in the desert, sometimes they're in the jungle, sometimes they're all fighting each other to the death. They're definitely a little more sparse down in the desert naturally. But the one probably with the best position so far is the Lapa Kingdom or Ad Hegemony. Because the world's going to shrink eventually, so they're just going to be forced inland more and more, which means they're going to fight each other for space. I did drop some of them on this frozen little island. They did not set up a kingdom or move at all, so they're going to be in trouble. They think it's bad living on the ice, right? That they're living in open ocean. I've also decided to turn off creatures dying from old age. That way, in order for things to die, they have to kill each other. They can't just run out of time. And we're leaving on all the good stuff like natural disasters, because I don't want to be in complete control of this. I find it a little bit strange, for one, that they make baby sounds, but also that we've had 182 deaths, yet the world population has not changed. I do find it funny that they're in the age of hope, though, because that's only going to last for so long. Then they're going to be hoping for good circle spawns. But we're just going to let them sit for a couple minutes and let them sort themselves out. The world population has gone up by 1, so someone's breeding. But we'll let them get established and get some loot and get geared up, and then we'll start making it smaller on them. It's the end of year 5. So far everyone is actually pretty peaceful, but they all have enough room to kind of live and thrive. Pretty soon they're going to have to force each other and themselves onto other people's land. These guys are my favorite so far. They're just kind of sitting in the middle, relaxing, eating, and not doing much of anything. The same thing I would be doing. There's even a slow motion mode now, but we're going to go times 3 speed. We're going to kick it up to about year 10 to see how the world changes in the first 10 years. So far, they're mostly just hanging out, trying not to fight each other. Some places have advanced. These guys are in little sort of huts still. These guys are in houses. That's all going to depend probably on the spawn point and the resources they have. And then there's your islanders here, just sitting here, not dying of old age, but probably somewhat starving to death. The population has grown by a full 100. But it's officially the start of year 10, so we're going to have to oceanize a little bit of this to make the circle a little smaller. And I think to start, we're going to go this wide across the entire world. So we'll sort of go like that. This is deep ocean too, so they're going to have to swim on out of it. I don't know, this might actually just make a giant pit that they're going to fall into and then the ocean is going to fill up, but I don't really care. We're just making the map smaller, that's their problem. I have a feeling that the size of these empires is probably going to start to move inwards considering, well, we just took out all the land for an entire empire there. And that's kind of what that looks like. Lots of villages were just straight up destroyed in this, but that's not my fault. Okay, so let's resume and see what they all do. Yep, they landed mostly safely in the water. They head for greener pastures, namely their neighbors' villages. They'll either take part in them or they'll try and take over. And I'm quite sure it's only a matter of time before a tornado or a meteor comes by and really starts to put some pressure on them. It's been about 3/4 of a year and looks like some of them are for some reason still swimming to shore. They're not very quick. Some of them just don't really get it, like this guy who's just, he's 12 years old and sitting in the ocean. And I don't know why they get so hopelessly stuck anytime there's an island. Like this guy just got onto the island. Clearly they can get off, but it's like an idiot trap. Looking around, they might not have the ore they need to make some tools and stuff, so I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of ore down for them. And by that I mean like a lot. I'm just going to covet this world in ore. Think about it like a loot drop. There we go, look at the world now. And we'll sprinkle some gold in there too, because everyone loves some gold. They can fight over the valuables. And some good old-fashioned stone, why not? I don't know if there's any room left down there. That's better, the world's stony, but they'll just move in amongst that all, but they've got lots to mine and work with now. We'll also try and plant some trees. Not sure if these help at all, but I'm just giving them anything I can think of that will help them grow and prosper. They are slowly starting to build up their armies. These guys have an army of 5, which obviously isn't very intimidating to the neighbors. I think this is officially the first army I could even see on the map. It's a guy with a wooden stick. They are smart enough to start throwing some boats down and using the ocean, which is good. You want to be master of the ocean considering the world's going to turn into ocean within a few short years. No one has yet wanted to start a war with any of the neighbors, but I suspect as the armies get bigger and stronger and aren't stuck on islands, that's going to start to be more of a thing. I saw something happening there, which is someone killing a cow. Someone did just start an alliance up at the top, so they're starting to think about wars and peace and treaties, and it's about time. Is this an army? They're really starting to get some armies going suddenly. Yeah, they have an army of 25 people. The Vit. Oh yeah, here we go, our first battle between these idiots. Let's take a look at their armies. He's 33 years old, has no gear whatsoever against, well, he's got fast, but they've got no gear. I don't think they've had time to do that, but our first battle. Also, the king, whatever, it was killed by a pink team, which might be these guys. War of Kings has ended. Alright, well, these guys have a problem with their neighbors, but they should be pushing inwards, not outwards. Either way, they just straight up murdered the neighbors, and this small community of 30 is probably about to be run over. They'd better hurry though, because in 2.5 years, this whole thing is turning into deep ocean. But they did. They took over that part of the empire, so off we go. A lot of kings dying these days too. I guess whoever the final king is going to be the winner, really. These guys have their village set on fire. I think there's an army raiding them. That guy looks like he's holding an epic wooden stick. They grow up so fast. I'm pretty sure, yeah, this Green Empire just went for a little expansion down there. So the empires are slowly consolidating and getting bigger. So these guys still are the biggest at 175. These ones both have a little over 100, but it's still anyone's game. These guys started a fight with someone, not sure why. You can actually see when they're holding sticks, which is handy, so we can identify how good of a stick it is they have. Epic stick. That's actually going to give them a pretty big advantage at this point. The population is back down to about where we started at this point, probably because they've been fighting and killing each other. Not sure how cows got up there. Actually, yes I do. I probably dropped them right there. There's an army on the move here. Not sure where they're going, but they're conveniently moving away from the edge of the world, which is where they should be. Especially right now, because we just broke into year 20. I'm not going to take as big of a bite out of the land this time, because as the circle gets smaller, we're going to have to ratio downwards. This is still pretty devastating to their kingdoms though, so they're going to be forced to move inland, and no one's going to enjoy that very much because there's no real estate left. Like the Kihi here, I just took off like 99% of their land. But I'm sure they'll find new prosperous areas. Also, anyone with any boats, yeah, you don't have a boat anymore. And we just do the same and sprinkle a little bit of water in so they get a happy landing. Now, let's watch the Kihi, who now have this little bit of circle, and yep, they're going to have to make the way for that, and they're going to expand out of this. The world population definitely dropped there. A few people definitely got caught outside of the zone, and now they don't know what to do. They're basically going to have to take their army straight into someone else's zone. Apparently the king, king of this island, got left up here. Not sure how he managed that, but we're going to go ahead. That might have been an ice sheet. So now that's turned into land, which is turned into water. They've got to make their way to the mainland. There's only 1 or 2 wars happening currently, but people are going to be more and more fighting over resources soon. The Kihi have survived, but they're just sort of hanging out right here, trying not to be annoying to anyone, because they have literally no resources here except for water. People like the Vit were well situated because they had an inland bay where they could actually still have their boat, so they can still get food. Okay, the Univ Empire is definitely attacking the La Pa Kingdom, and that's smart for them, because if they take the center, they're going to be there safely for quite a while, where they can hopefully build up defenses and thrive. And they way outnumber the La Pas, so they should be able to destroy them. The number's already, well, they're at 41, but the Empire is almost twice as big, so they should have a bigger army. Yeah, the La Pas are dropping quickly, their numbers are dwindling, so the Univ is going to move in and take out the center of the map, basically. But that's going to be prime real estate for everyone else. Oh, these guys are smart enough to set up a windmill. They're actually getting pretty advanced. Plus, this guy has a legendary wooden stick. Also, it's now the Univ Empire, apparently, but they have taken the center of the map. Otherwise known as the Winner's Circle. They even have a bit of water and deep water, so they might be able to use that for fishing eventually. But they're going to be fighting off everyone else, because everyone's starting to get a little bit advanced. These guys even have a giant, and a few guys with legendary wooden sticks. They might not have the time to advance beyond wooden stuff. I don't really know yet. The giant guy might have actually found a power-up somewhere, not sure where, but look at all of his boosts. 15 to 30 damage. Like, if they went to attack someone now, he would be a destroyer. But for now, everyone seems pretty content to just sit still. I think they're all scared to make him move. Because they're all reasonably close in population, except maybe the Kihi here, who are just enjoying their little circle. The O are finally pushing in to try and challenge these guys just because they have to. They don't have any room. It's basically this little empire against all of this. But they do try so hard. And I have a feeling that, yeah, they're going to drop their epic wooden sticks to this new empire. So these guys are going to get stronger. But the O had no chance. They had to try something. It was just bad circle luck or position for them. They were waiting on the outside and they should have moved inward straight away. Because now they're going to finish off that guy and there's only 2 of them left. I don't even know where they are, but the O are about to be extinct. And given how armed they are, they're probably going to have a pretty good advantage over the neighbors. Just based on the gear. The more other idiots they can kill, the better the gear they're going to get, the more damage they're going to do. Like over here on the other side, this is the biggest empire. They're still down to basically mostly sticks, so it's still going to be in numbers versus a gear game. But those with gear have a way bigger advantage. The Kihis are still sitting over here trying not to aggravate anyone, because the army they're sitting on the edge of is huge. There's 2 massive armies and 200 population. And this right now feels like the calm before this storm. And we finally have someone declaring war. So it's the Isam hegemony on Holy Teachin, and their empire is 3 times the size, so I don't put a lot of faith on Holy Teachin, but they're attacking a world on the edge, so they're about to turn into water anyways. But if they can take some of their loot before they go, like they're actually really expanding their empire quickly, they took over some of their population. They basically have 1 year to sort out this battle, and it is quite a battle, but if they can take over some of their loot and stuff, they'll be all the better for it. And it looks like they're very quickly going to get away with that, because there's only 6 Holy Teachins left. They did light things on fire before they left, so that's kind of putting salt in the wound, but I'm sure they'll figure that out. If they just wait long enough, the ocean will come to the fire though, and that should solve things. And it is in fact the start of year 30, so that means the circle is shrinking. The ocean is coming for more of them. They're going to figure out how to cope with this, or they're just going to die trying. We did outright destroy 1 village, but I think all that means is we took out their main building, so they'll just reform as something else. But they still have all their loot, all their players, all their everything. The Kihis that were here definitely got destroyed. So the world gets ever smaller. An entire army is dumped here. Soon to be in the ocean, but they'll swim out of there if they're smart. Their fire is still going too. The ocean didn't put out the entirety of their fire, so they've really got problems. It all feels so small now. And there's definitely going to be some aggravation now because there's going to be a lot of armies and a lot less space. The population has dropped to 1100, so some people definitely didn't survive the closing, as we'll call it. But I don't really know what happened to the other people, if they just joined neighboring empires or whatever. These guys down here are losing space, so their population is going to get more and more pushed together, so they're going to have to find more room. There's also sort of this uncomfortable mountain that's going to have everyone sort of fighting to get around it. So in fact, I think I'm just going to make a little gap right here. That way it's not too unfair as the circle closes. Oh, we got a big fight. The Univ Empire that are central are going to take out Great Mup-Up, almost as if they know what's happening. Because if they can defeat these guys, they'll really have control of the center of the map. These guys are pretty advanced though at the same time. This guy does have a stone sword, 15 to 19 damage, he's very well fed. Their armies aren't very smart. This guy went around to like the neighboring empires for some reason to try and reach over here. Or maybe they're just straight up pillaging each other, like they're trying to get to each other's bases, so the armies are basically bypassing each other. Either way, I'm pretty sure the king of this empire is right here for some reason, so that's not a great place for him to be. Don't know what the strategy is. It's basically an empire of 100 versus 50. So they're twice the size, but strategy plays a lot. Oh, there's our first meteor. It hit right almost center in the map, so that's going to cause some damage. And here's where the showdown is finally happening. They finally reach each other. So if the guys in the center can maintain control plus get the loot from these other guys, they're going to be in good shape. Silver guys have the advantage. And especially once they win this war, if they win this war, because then they'll have the whole center. Oh, these guys are also being attacked by Great P. And Great P just straight up took them over because their army left to go push into these guys, so Great P took advantage and took their home. It happens that fast. If you leave your base unattended, someone else will move in and take it quite easily. It looks like these guys finally got their fire problem under control, so good for them. This guy's got the Annihilator, 15 to 19 damage. Look at some of these places, like this next circle close, this whole empire, the biggest empires on the map are going to be forced inland. I just realized how smart the Univ Empire is structured. I realized that wasn't intentional on their part, but they have the center of the island and coast, so even as the circle shrinks, they'll always have access to the ocean, and therefore boats and therefore food. Population still is maintaining about 1,000. Is that a unit out here? Oh, it's a boat. The Isam hegemony has an army of 100 people. Oh, actually, look at the armies though. The Vid has a bigger army, but these 3 have 100. They've definitely got the advantage over everyone else. Everyone's surviving very well so far. Like, they're all thriving, they've got food, they've got everything they need. It's just that circle keeps getting smaller and forcing them to make weird plays. Okay, there's a 3-way battle going on. Realm of AP are fighting these guys. They're moving in here, so there's going to be a big collision right here. Also, the guys on the other side are getting in on this. I think they're probably in big alliances. But they're also going to be in trouble because in 1 year, the world's going to get smaller, so they're going to lose the base behind them. But it's actually good they're taking over this then. If they can get this, this is great for them. They're also being attacked by the other big army on the map, though. But the Isam hegemony did take a big part of the center of the map. Now it's just a matter of fighting the Aphis. And this is probably going to be a pretty destructive battle because these are two of the biggest armies on the map. We've had 1,700 deaths so far. But good news, everyone, it's year 40. You were losing this space anyway. So let's just help you out with that. We'll just take a little bit of that. That's now turned into deep ocean. Everyone's going to be forced inland to really deal with those uncomfortable, tense relations in there. Ooh, this is going to hurt them really badly because I'm pretty sure that was their headquarters. It might shift to here, or they might just have to go find a new home altogether. It's been about 2 years and they've all kind of resettled by now, except for these guys who left their king on an island. But the Isam hegemony has officially taken over the eastern side of the map with all sorts of leaders, so I'm picking them currently as the favorites. The Vit down here are still very strong, but they're very closed off. They've got very limited options for where they can go. And the Green Empire here, Great P, is actually pretty advanced. We're officially in the Age of Wonders. But it's been 4 years since the last circle closed, and everyone seems pretty content to just kind of bide their time. It's almost like they don't understand what's about to happen to them. Ooh, we finally got Great P is pushing in on the Unip Empire, and they could probably take them out. I think, yeah, that's going to be an interesting battle. So they just had some little skirmish there. I'm not entirely sure where the armies are. Shielded. Oh, okay. So apparently they got a good drop for shield stuff. So they're going to fight with their bubble power. There's also a cow with bubble power too, who's also caffeinated somehow. I had nothing to do with this. This world is just playing by itself. So whatever happened, it's naturally on the game. Okay, that's the bubble power. Looks like Great P is really doing a number on the Unip Empire, and that's not a surprise. They're going to take the center of the map right now. So, yep, they've got it. And that just coincidentally is very good for them. They also have a bunch of buffed units right now, so since they have this, it's like getting a loot drop. They might as well push everyone. Oh, they're going to try and finish off this empire. The Unip Empire is about to fall. Great P still has 130 people. I had such high hopes for the Unip guys, but they're quickly getting overrun. So Great P still has a smaller army than these other guys, and pretty soon they're going to have to clash. The Vid have also just been sitting here, might because their army is trapped here, but pretty soon they're going to be destroyed or displaced altogether, so they're probably going to take either a spot right here or have to fight for some life. I guess these pink clouds just come in the Age of Wonders and rain down these bubbles and shields that have these effects on people. They just get huge amounts of armor, and that's fine. They get caffeinated, they get lit on fire. Oh, I guess this is probably the mage who's annoying everyone. Yep, it sure is. He does have a rare staff, so if someone's able to kill this demon, that will be good, but I feel like that's going to be hard to do. Unless you're a pyromaniac mage who just wants to watch the world burn. That was a big shake. What just happened? I thought that might have been an earthquake or a meteor, but nothing seems to have changed really. This mage is just here lighting everything on fire, and I'm here for it. So the Funiko Hegemony 2 are about to attack Great P. I think they're just desperate at this point. Great P has a way stronger army. They're also fighting the Vits right now too, actually. So yeah, that might be the end of Great P if they're attacking on both sides, because Vits are really strong. Just in time for year 50, where the world's going to get even smaller, so this is really going to throw things into chaos. I think we also just dumped the mage into the ocean, so I'm not sure if he likes that or not. But we'll find he doesn't seem bothered by it. He's still just lighting things on fire. Water doesn't seem to bother him that much. He somehow might end up being the winner of this, so we got to keep an eye on that. Now, as far as the armies are concerned, the Funiko Hegemony has moved in here. The population seems lower than it is. Well, actually, we had a lot of things die. But we're down to basically 4 empires at this point. Maybe better make that 3. I think a lot of them just joined the Funiko Hegemony, and they're about to get bubbled. So the army sizes have definitely dropped. The Vits basically got killed by the circle because they didn't want to move inland. So the Funiko have an army of 40. So you think they might try and restructure their army at this point, but I guess that many people did die when they dropped in the ocean. I thought they would swim to shore and like reassemble an army or a civilization. They instead just chose to die. I've also realized I think I'm going to have to kill the mage. Mostly because he's killing everyone else in a hurry and we just can't have that. He had his fun for a while, but he's got to go. Otherwise, he's just going to kill everyone else on the map. So a few little lightning strikes ought to finish him off. He was really strong, though, so like it would have taken an entire army to beat him. But it's basically down to the final 3 empires, and the Yafiri at the top probably don't have a good chance, considering they're a population of 6, and they don't really have any real estate. There's 2 armies realistically, they're both pretty evenly matched. Especially because this one's got a stronger army. This guy, he's only got 2 kills actually. This guy's got 6 kills, so we'll see how it plays out. And I mean, they've got 8 years before the island gets even smaller, which is really going to force them into a tight little spot and probably destroy the Ephiri altogether. Apparently a tornado appeared way up here. Oh, it made its way straight inland though. Oh, that's got to be scary for the Ephiri. There's only a few of them there, and they basically got a tornado on their doorstep. I always thought tornadoes are more destructive than that. They just kind of throw things in the air and hurt them a little bit. They don't really, like, destroy everything completely. Here, we finally got them declaring war on each other because they're running out of time. So they're going to manage to fight their battle right here. Basically, the winner of this battle is probably going to be the winner of it all. I assume there was a reason they chose this time to attack. They have a giant on their team, though, too. But I know the armies were pretty evenly matched, so we'll see who comes out on top, and whoever wins is going to take over the rest of the island, unless the guys up here in Ephiri manage to pull off a miracle. I think this will determine the winner. Look at this guy up here fighting everyone by himself. He's caffeinated and he's got a power-up and a legendary Doomblade. Oh, he might actually carry this. And look at him go. He's just destroying everyone. He's like one-shotting these poor guys. Oh, now he's starting to get surrounded and he's fallen. The Funiko hegemony is really doing strong here, though. I didn't realize they were dominating so hard. Okay, they've officially turned the Isam hegemony into 22 people who are down there on the corner. They do have another one of these super strong guys who's got all sorts of things going on, but as soon as that bubble wears out, he's going to be in trouble. But he's basically like the last hope of the Isam hegemony. He's one of the 0 people left in the empire. And he just became one of the pink ones. The red conquest has ended. Yeah, it's basically the Funiko hegemony versus the Ephiri. And they're probably on the same team. Either way, I don't think they care about the 10 idiots up there. But at the same time, it's year 60, so it's time to restrict the world a little more, and that pretty much ends that empire. So the ocean moves in, and the official winner is the Funiko hegemony. They've got 195 players. They did level up quite a bit though, like he's up to 8% armor, but 32 to 41 damage is actually pretty crazy. He does have the power-ups, I guess, but there you have it. A 60-year battle royale that started with 1,300 people, ends with this empire winning. So a big congratulations to them.